Shiv Sena Supremo Balasaheb Thackeray was cremated at Mumbai's Shivaji Park. A massive debate has sprung up over converting the ground into a memorial for the Shiv Sena Supremo. The party has demanded that the iconic ground, the venue for many of Bal Thackeray's famous speeches through his career, be converted into a memorial ground for the Shiv Sena leader. That has put paid to the hopes of many aspiring sportspersons, as the ground has also been a cradle for several cricketing legends in the past, especially Sachin Tendulkar.
चाहते हैं कि इनका स्वागत यहाँ ही बने। करेंगे, सरकार क्यों नहीं करेगी? मुझे विश्वास है कि सरकार भी पूरी करेगी और छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज के बाजू में माननीय बालासाहेब ठाकरे ही चाहिए।
The Shiv Sena claims that Shivaji Park as a venue is fitting for Bal Thackeray, as it has symbolized the iconic leader's political career right till his funeral that took place there. However, the opposing view believes that doing so would deprive the public of Mumbai of another open space in an already clustered city. Well, the arguments opposing a memorial for Thackeray at Shivaji ground have been further bolstered by the number of concessions already given to the Sena leader. He is already the first private citizen after Lokmanya Tilak to get a state funeral, and the Shivaji Park was used as a funeral ground for the first time for him. Not to mention all the traffic diversions that were made for the sake of his funeral cortege. However, Thackeray will not be the first person to have a memorial at a public space. One Safdarjung Road has been a memorial for former Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, while her father has a memorial at Teen Murti Bhavan. The father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, too has his memorial dedicated to him at Shakti Sthal. Let's get a word in from Headlines Today's Kamlesh Sutar for more on this. Kamlesh, what exactly is the Shiv Sena looking for? They're looking for a memorial to be built on the Shivaji ground.
Well, indeed, it's now become a very emotive issue for the Shiv Sena, since the place where Balasaheb Thackeray was cremated, and sources also tell us, Shiv, that when the Shiv Sena made a demand that Balasaheb Thackeray's cremation be allowed at the Shivaji Park, some senior officials in the Mantralaya had expressed this fear that if the cremation is allowed at the Shivaji Park, then tomorrow there might be a demand to erect his memorial at this very place where he would be cremated would come up, and that would create problem for the state machinery. And as the fear expressed by these officials, it has come true, and Shiv Sena leaders have already started making demands that a memorial be erected at this point of time. Now, Shivaji Park, though on an emotional ground, may have been very close to the Shiv Sena leader Balasaheb Thackeray. He had addressed many rallies there. For the Shiv Sena party as well, it has a very different significance altogether. And now, since they're a leader, the party's greatest icon being cremated there, they are demanding that the spot where he was cremated should be turned into a memorial. If it's a memorial where only a statue would come up, then the state machinery would not have so much of problem. I just spoke to the Urban Development Minister of Maharashtra, Bhaskar Jadhav, and while talking to Headlines Today, he said that in case there's a proposal that comes up, the state machinery would not have a problem in positively considering such proposal.
Yes.
So there wouldn't be a problem in case the memorial is only restricted to the small spot where the cremation took place. But in case tomorrow some Shiv Senics demand more than what the memorial is, Shivaji Park in an already space-starved Mumbai, which is Shivaji Park,
yes,
is the only biggest ground in central Mumbai. If a sizable portion of that goes, then it certainly would create more problem and would invite more opposition.
Is this likely to create trouble in the city, Kamlesh, considering that it's such an emotive issue like you just said, but it's also an issue that many people feel very strongly about? Like you said, space is at such a premium in the city.
Well, certainly, Shiv, already the Bombay High Court has declared Shivaji Park as a silent zone. No political rallies are allowed, and in fact the Shiv Sena was specially given concession by the court when the Shiv Sena had to approach the court to address that Dussehra rally, citing reasons that it has a historical significance in the Shiv Sena's history. But given the fact that it's a silent zone, the residents there have already been up in arms against the kind of noise that is created there. It's a ground where lots of sporting activity takes place. At this point of time, if there is an opposition, the Shiv Sena might tomorrow just make it an emotive issue and might use it to their political benefit.
Okay, let's get a word in from Rahul Narvekar, spokesperson for the Shiv Sena. He's with us on the phone. Rahul, thanks for speaking to Headlines today. What is your response, Rahul, to those who say that it's a bad idea? It will deprive Mumbai of one of its most precious public spaces in a place that is already cloistered with so many buildings and stuff. Building a memorial at Shivaji Park, which is one of the most valuable open spaces, is just a bad idea. How do you respond to that?
Undoubtedly, Honorable Balasaheb Thackeray is one of the tallest leaders Maharashtra has ever witnessed. Having said that, I don't think there are two minds about the fact that his contribution to the city of Mumbai, with right from 1966, the Youth Maharashtra movement, till date, has been significant and unparalleled. The kind of turnout that we saw yesterday would signify the fact that of his popularity, the love, the respect, and the aura that he enjoyed from the people of Mumbai. For people of Mumbai and for Maharashtra at large, Honorable Balasaheb Thackeray has been a very loved and cherished leader. That being the case, when you don't really see leaders like Honorable Balasaheb regularly, he's been one of his kind. And certainly, a person of his nature and a person, the kind of leader for what he was and for the kind of leadership that he gave to the state, we definitely need to have a memorial in his memory for the benefit of future generations.
Why does it have to be at Shivaji Park?
No, the point is where it should be, what the exact location should be, is a matter that needs to be decided after considering.
Okay, so it's not confirmed yet. You're not asking for it to be at Shivaji Park.
No, there has to be said that there should be a memorial, preferably at Shivaji Park. Now, where at Shivaji Park is something that needs to be decided. It's not the time to discuss or to probably debate over the location. That is secondary. Location is something which will be decided after speaking to the authorities. There are municipal authorities. There is the government.
Point taken. Yeah.
So Shivaji Park is already declared as a heritage event, and all these things have to be dealt with. We'll see what the issues are, and then come to a decision. Right now, the fact that there needs to be a memorial, I don't think anyone would have a problem with that or should have a problem with that, because at the end of the day, we are fortunate enough to experience such a great leadership. And I think our generation should also know more about how a leader can transform a state, how a leader can lead a state. I mean, these are issues a memorial will serve.
Okay, Rahul Narvekar of the Shiv Sena, thanks for speaking to Headlines today. Mr. Narvekar saying that there are no two ways about the fact that a memorial needs to be built for Bal Thackeray. He says the location is something that can be decided later. He says that the Shiv Sena would prefer it to be at the Shivaji Park, which is a heritage area in the city of Mumbai, but that isn't something that they're pushing for as forcefully as the fact that there needs to be a memorial. First, the location is still up for debate. Of course, it isn't something that will go down well with a lot of Mumbaikars. It isn't, Bal Thackeray's appeal wasn't unanimous and universal even in Maharashtra. He had a lot of detractors, and there is word coming in that there are several sections of people in Mumbai who wouldn't want an open space like Shivaji Park to be altered in any way with the addition of any kind of a memorial there. All right, let's get in Kamlesh again for more on this. Kamlesh, you heard what Rahul Narvekar of the Shiv Sena said. He says that, a memorial needs to be built. There is no debate or discussion on that. The place is still something that is up for discussion. That's what he says. Is this what you're getting on the ground as well, Kamlesh?
Well, yes, this demand has come from a section of Shiv Sena leaders, like Manoj Joshi said yesterday, today, and we had some other Shiv Sena leaders who are also making this demand. And now it's too early for the party to make it an official issue or make it an official demand on this matter. Balasaheb Thackerays ashes are yet to be immersed, so that would take another week's time. On Friday, they are to be immersed in different places. But at this point of time, the party may not make it an issue that where exactly they're demanding. But certain segment of the party putting this demand that it should be erected at the same spot where Balasaheb was cremated. It's something which nobody in the party will be opposing to openly, and the idea would certainly be welcome for the party. So making it an official stance of the party is just a matter of time. Now, as Rahul Narvekar was also saying, that the spot is yet to be identified and to be decided. We all know that if demand comes in at this point of time, since it being an emotive issue, nobody in the party is likely to take an anti-stand unless Uddhav Thackeray says something or somebody from the family comes and says otherwise.
Kamlesh, just stay with me for a second. There's some breaking news just coming in that we want to tell our viewers about. We will positively think on the proposal of the Balasaheb Memorial. That's what the Maharashtra Urban Development Minister Bhaskar Jadhav has told Headlines Today's Kamlesh Sutar. Kamlesh has just sent us that information using his phone, and let's just tell our viewers now that this has taken the story forward. The Shiv Sena will be happy to hear that the Urban Development Minister of Maharashtra, Bhaskar Jadhav, has just told Headlines Today's Kamlesh Sutar that they will positively think on the proposal of that Balasaheb Memorial. Kamlesh, tell us more about that.
Well, indeed, generally the procedure is, if there is a application made in this regard, it has to be forwarded to the BMC. Now, BMC is ruled by the Shiv Sena BJP alliance, but the BMC itself is not authorized to take a decision of building a memorial in an open space. So that in turn would be forwarded to the Urban Development Department. When we pose this question to the Urban Development Minister, incidentally, he happens to be a former Shiv Sena man, and he said that in case there is a proposal like this which comes to the state government through proper channels, will certainly think on positive note about such a proposal, because Balasaheb Thackeray was a leader of tall stature, and if the demand comes through proper channel, we can certainly think positively on it. So at this point of time, prima facie, the state government is not denying any permission for that, so it might be considered. That is what initially it is suggesting, but then there are several other permissions that are required. There is a procedure that the state government will have to go through before erecting such a memorial. These all aspects will be looked into, whether there is any legal hassle in that regard. If somebody approaches court, that would be a different issue altogether. But on ground, at prima facie, the state government doesn't seem to be wary of the idea of erecting a memorial of Balasaheb Thackeray.
How long will it take for a decision to be made, Kamlesh, considering not only that it's an emotive issue, but the Shiv Sena will be looking to, force some kind of a decision at this time, just shortly after Balasaheb's death, when emotions are clearly running high?
Well, Shiv, there has to be a formal application or a formal demand that needs to be made at this point of time. Shiv Sena leaders have only spoken through media. They have only given statements to media about their demand of erecting a memorial of Balasaheb at Shivaji Park, but they haven't formally given their request to the state government or to the BMC.
Okay. So
immediately as it follows, it will take time. But what I think is, since as I said earlier, the Shiv Sena BJP rules the BMC, so there would not be any problem for the BMC, which will be immediately forwarding it to the Urban Development Department.
Right.
The Urban Development Department then will have to take into consideration if there are any legal issues pertaining to that. That might take some time, but considering the fact, if there is any political pressure or there's a judge, like yesterday, Maharashtra cabinet went ahead to give a state funeral. They made it a special clause considered as a special consideration to give state honors to Balasaheb Thackeray, despite the fact that he has never held any constitutional post. This could also go the same way. The state government can
Kamlesh, stay with me for a moment. Garsan Dakuna is with us on the phone line as well. He's an activist from Mumbai. Mr. Dakuna, what do you think about this? A memorial to Balasaheb Thackeray at the Shivaji Park.
No, but how much of Shivaji Park do they intend to cover?
All of that is up for discussion, sir. All of that is up for discussion.
What I have heard is that there is a small corner in the direction of the mayor's bungalow that is being thought about.
Yes.
But even that, the Shiv Sena would set a very bad example, because the Shivaji Park has been violated, that open space has been violated enough already. And Uddhav Thackeray has come out in favor of open spaces and leaving open spaces open.
Yes.
It's a bad example. And Balasaheb's passing on is a tragedy, yes, but it is also an opportunity.
Yes.
It is now for the architects of change to follow the lead that has been given by Balasaheb Thackeray. Look at the turnout at yesterday's funeral. 2 million people. That means you have
Yes.
the numbers and you have the power of the people behind a single point agenda. You should go for it. In other words, what we need is development. Instead of a memorial, a death memorial on Shivaji Park, a hospital,
Yes.
schools, things that he will be remembered for much more than through a memorial. That has to be thought of, and that has to be thought of by government as well.
Gerson D'Acunha believes that a memorial is a bad example. What would much better perpetuate the memory of Balasaheb Thackeray would be a hospital or an institution that actually does good in his memory, instead of just a memorial that doesn't do anything apart from be there to occupy some sort of space and be symbolic in some way. Thanks, Gerson, for speaking to Headlines today.